Perfect.
Yeah. Few more channels to go live, and we're good. We're good. So, so what are the tags for Twitch?
Tags? I don't know.
Look, we're like our headshots, our haircuts are quite punk rockish.
Hot bathtub or whatever.
No. Lucas, do you use Twitch so that or Lara, decrypt the joke, please.
So basically,
I'm not using daily, but I don't know what the audience you have, so it's hard for me to recommend.
Basically, I opened the Twitch from incognito account, and there is chicks sitting in the bath, just in bikini, and they're just swimming there and doing nothing, and they have thousands of viewers, and I'm thinking right now maybe we're doing something wrong. And I'm actually thinking about buying a pool.
And switching, doing the pivot here.
I mean, if it pays well, so
maybe.
Startup in the pool, with bikinis, some kind of thing.
Yeah, and they're like, "Oh, pay me blah 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 money, and I will change my bikini." I'm like, "This is amazing, girl! This is awesome." Yeah, this is why we're laughing about pivoting to hot bath up or whatever. What's the tag?
Thing is, they have to be in the tube, otherwise they're not allowed to wear swimsuits or
bikinis. Otherwise it's like porn. So
yeah.
So you have to sit in the pool. So very interesting.
Which is a
bummer. Just having bath. Yeah.
Yeah, very interesting. I'm wondering why they need Twitch then. Why OnlyFans is not enough for them.
The top of the marketing funnel?
Twitch? Well, actually, yeah, this is a smart plan. For OnlyFans.
Target audience, you game and at the one moment, and then you switch really fast.
Yes. Oh my god, this is so smart. I really admire this woman. They're amazing. I mean, this is smart.
Yeah, totally. You just take the audience.
Yeah.
The acquisition channel.
Yeah. Lucas, are you active on Twitter?
I'm kind of starting to be.
Okay, then I'll tag you. And Turing College if I couldn't find you easily. No, okay, I found now. Turing, it's _ okay.
Yeah, _ yeah.
There we go. And what's your account?
It's Lukas Kaminskis, just like this should be.
Yes, found you. Very serious photo. Did you order a professional photo shoot for the team? Was that before Y Combinator or for the Y Combinator?
It was before, 1 year ago already.
That's so funny. We're interviewing a lot of founders from Lithuania, and when you open their LinkedIn or any other accounts, they look like they're wearing a wedding suit or something. And when they're coming to our show, they're super chill. They're wearing t-shirt and everything is cool. But when you look at him, he's why he dressed up in a wedding? So we thought that everybody attended the same wedding because all of them look the same.
That's true. That's why we did our photo shoot with just t-shirt because we're informal.
So you didn't go to the single wedding for the others. Yeah. It was different ones.
Unfortunately or not, but yeah. I didn't have.
Yeah, because that was very funny. That was very funny.
I'm not sure if it was funny, but...
Well, for me, especially for the first time when I was drawing those covers for YouTube and I had to search for a photo and I'm like, oh, everybody looks so serious. Wow. And later on you see them in real life and you're like, oh, okay, they're normal. They're actually guys. So that was very interesting.
So, I think we're live on almost all platforms who wanted to go live.
Oh,
Yeah,
cool.
so we still have 2 minutes for the small talk.
Yes. Are you in Vilnius, by the way?
No, currently I'm in Spain. And
Oh la la!
Plot twist.
Wow.
Vilnius.
Plot twist.
Plus, it's changed everything.
Well,
That's cool. I'm super envy because here is like snow and rain. Well, not today, but like all the time, and weather is such shit.
But now it's getting better. Like I saw plus 20 in Vilnius today.
It's only today. It's only today. They have like one good day per month, so so it's only for the day, and that's it.
I suppose it will continue.
I like fingers crossed, but yeah, I'm feeling so depressed when I came back to Lithuania, and the weather is so bad here. I'm like, bad.
Yeah,
So
weather is really kind of doing the thing on the emotions for sure.
Definitely.
oh, yeah. But what are you doing in Spain? We still have one more. What's that?
Minute.
What's that?
So yeah, what are you doing in Spain right now?
Like we just did the workation in a sense. So as we are a remote company, so there's just no matter from where you're working from. So we just kind of switched from Lithuania to Spain for a bit.
So Tenerife or somewhere else?
Ibiza.
Ibiza. Okay. Now, like, Leroy can be officially
I'm
envious.
so
Like,
envious.
Tenerife,
I'm
is
so
just a rock. And Ibiza, do they have parties?
Not really. Like it's now really the calm place to be. So kind of just local people being here and no tourists almost.
What's going on?
I feel so sad right now.
Sorry guys for that. Came up unexpectedly.
Yeah. I thought you're also suffering here in Vilnius, so we can share our suffers. And you're like, oh no, actually, I'm.
Yeah, or California, which is not much better probably than Vilnius these days. Not in terms of weather, but in other terms. Also, I don't understand. Anyways, like for some reason I'm creepy slideshow, but I cannot figure out what suddenly is wrong with that. Anyway,
it's okay. Why we have such weird filters on top of us? It's like so ugly. Well, I'm looking at our Twitch and it looks so ugly. You look pale as fuck.
Thank you. I removed the filter, so it's
okay.
Much better. But look, shall we start the show? Shall we start the show? I even didn't forget to click the record button.
Cool. Yes. Go with your intro.
So look, people, today. No, let's restart the show. Restart the thing. Yeah. Today we're talking to Lukas from Turing College. We're gonna talk about education, where you get the knowledge first, and then you sort of pay for it later, like a cut from your salary. I wanted to say that's a new business model, but Lera used to live in Soviet Belarus, and there it's sort of a government model. So we'll see how that all works. We'll discuss about getting to Y Combinator. That's where Turing College is right now, and that's...
And yeah.
I wanted to also say...
No, it doesn't matter what you want to say. Let's firstly introduce ourselves because, like, you probably didn't know us. I forgot about that. So I'm Lara. I'm artist here, community manager, and I'm doing actually a lot of stuff right now. So yes.
I'm also doing a lot of stuff, and right now I'm a slideshow for no good reason. And
we still love you.
So You can. But you can guess what I'm doing. I'm the technical person here, and I actually invited Lukas because Turing College was advertised as the first ever Lithuanian company to get into Y Combinator, and I'm like, this can be true. This can be true. Lukas, are you indeed the first Lithuanian company that got into Y Combinator?
I would say, unfortunately, yes, we are the first.
Why? Why, unfortunately?
I would be more happy that we would have some, ancestors in a sense, being in YC from Lithuania, because that proves that a lot of good startups can get in Lithuania, but we are only the first now in 2021. So it took a while for Lithuanian startups to get into YC, I guess.
And
How
that's
did you
super
get there?
sad.
So there's kind of traditional process how you get into YC. So basically, it's the first application. So you need really sharply introduce your business, answer some specific questions. Afterwards, then you get, if successful, you get the invitation to interview, which basically takes only 10 minutes. So basically, as well, what is quite interesting, the questions are so sharp that they're cutting you in the middle of the sentence and jumping to another one. So it's basically the rabbit hole conversation all the time. And there's even the rumor that YC partners take decision to make only in 8 minutes. So it's like enough for them 8 minutes to understand if you're a good startup to be admitted into YC or not. But that's the general procedure. And after the several days after the interview, you get invitation or not to Y Combinator.
And from what I understand, it has been quite a few weeks for you there, right? So what's your status? Are you happy, or do you wish you didn't apply?
We have already graduated Y Combinator as we were in a winter 21 batch. So we graduated Y Combinator almost 1.5 months ago. So that was quite interesting.
But then,
Tell us more.
I tried to Google the web for they got lots of monies, and I failed. So either my Google skills suck, or you didn't raise a lot of money. So how did it end up?
So basically, we are still in the process in fundraising. So it isn't just 1 week process. So it's still to come. The news is still to come.
Cool. Tell about your startup in general overall. Can you describe it for those who haven't heard about it or don't know what it is? Just in that case.
Yeah, sure. So Turing College is an online data science school suitable for all levels of expertise. So it means that if you're just beginning in data science and AI, you don't have any particular knowledge, you can join Turing College, as well as if you're kind of experienced software engineer and you're looking for upskilling opportunities. So you can join Turing College as well. So we have specific education methodology, which lets us basically organize our education in a manner where people interact with each other. So the more diverse people we have, the more interestingly and better our education works. So a lot of education activities are generally done by peers, by the students themselves. And just a small part of activities like one-on-one sessions, mentoring sessions are done by senior people, basically hired professionals from the science and AI industry. So this is as well the philosophy we have that the best way to learn things is basically teaching others. And this is basically proven by the research as well. So we try to expose students to real learning environment through the teaching as well, through the teaching activities there. Yeah,
and so it's online. It's online, right?
Totally online. Yeah, it's totally online. We have students now from Netherlands, Lithuania, Ireland, United Kingdom, Nigeria, Latvia, and as well as Lithuania.
Cool.
And they all sacrifice. No. Okay.
I'm first wondering. So basically, how I understood, you moved the kind of offline system to online. So kind of offline experience into online experience. And are there any difficulties in this? Because we're also planning to do something like this. But, so we are wondering what kind of difficulties did you face and how did it go? How it was from the beginning, your expectations with your reality?
So basically, the first idea of Turing College was to do offline kind of coding data science school. But basically, with data science, AI, and the education, it's really easy to switch online, as naturally all the learning activities are done through the computer in your digital learning environment. So for us, it was really natural. It didn't require any kind of superb solutions to do everything perfectly through the online basically channel. So we switched really fast, and it happened really like seamlessly. And students are quite happy what we see from their feedback.
But that's very interesting because I like the thing that you're saying, that peers should learn from the peers, which is I don't think that it's a very common thing, because usually right now online education is more like webinars where like there's a speaker who tells what to do, and like students don't communicate with each other. And I think it's very interesting that you use these kind of things.
I want to bring the CBC term, but you're gonna slap me. So I'll get it back.
Education 3.0 and so on and so on, which is very cool, I think.
Yeah, like we started doing that because, like, personally, we as a founders experience that as one of the best ways to learn generally. Me personally, I started my education journey in coding, still being in high school, and the first kind of resource of my learning was basically peer-to-peer education. So I organized coding bootcamp. I gathered a lot of just like people, peers like me. We sit in one room for like a week, and we taught ourselves how to code. And that was like the best and the most efficient way to learn. And generally, I guess this is a misconception, a lot of happening in higher education, that if there's one lecture and lecture presents the theory, then students equally will kind of absorb all the information 100%. And basically, this is not how our brain works. Our brain basically works when we empower them. And the only way to empower them is just basically put everything into practice. So, we need to switch that perception and let as well students to fail a lot. Because through failure, you get the emotions attaches to the memories. And that's how our long-term memory, is enriched with valuable information, not just basically sitting in the room and absorbing information as doing nothing. So I guess we need a lot to rethink how we do education, especially in formal education institutions. And this is not disrupted yet. And what we did totally practically the Turing College education here to things that worked for us personally, and we see that working for other people totally perfectly as well.
That's amazing. That's amazing. By the way, what platform are you using for students to communicate? Is it like something inside your, like you created something, or what are you using?
We're using Discord for communication. Yeah.
Amazing. 10 out of 10.
Yeah, totally. We use Slack, but we weren't satisfied with the Slack performance and generally features. And Discord was like one of the best decisions we made regarding the communication as a channel.
Cool. Alegas, go on.
Yeah, I can talk. I mean,
you're welcome.
We have a matriarchy in this setup, so yeah. Where do I even start? I actually want to get back to all the fancy words that I know, like Education 3.0 and CBC. I mean, it's just like, I mean, people started from doing like these paid YouTube things where somebody probably clever records a video and then you pay to watch that video. And now everybody is switching to CBCs and cohort-based classes, where the community is the focus, where peer-to-peer knowledge is the focus. And you have started from this new concept. And from what I understand, you didn't have an evolutionary journey. You started from this already. So how did you end up starting, like doing the good thing from from the start, instead of like evolving like all the online academies and classes and online
Lucas
initiatives.
already told this. He already told this because he was like learning coding with his peers, and he wanted to move it to online. That's it. That was his smart plan, as far as I understood, right?
I can kind of expand a bit to understand the full picture here. Yeah, so we did kind of evolutionary journey, but I guess our point of references were totally different from what a lot of people are seeing in online education. So we just didn't follow the mainstream of education, copying MOOCs or Coursera, edX, those kind of platforms. We see those as not adaptable and really innovative ways of learning. Like MOOCs are just basically offline education. Courses of YouTube, like we can put in this way. And now there are more adaptable technologies they're trying to adapt, but generally the concept is not kind of unique. And we tried to understand how we can make the education interactive, and are there some examples in the world which could be the good cases. And we found one, which was 42 School in Paris, which is founded by French billionaire Xavier Niel. So he is really into as well coding in general telecom world regarding the technologies. And he founded the school with idea that there shouldn't be any lectures doing any educational activities. Let's build just school. You can imagine this as a really innovative library of having like 1,000 iMacs in one place. And all the education activities are organized through proprietary software platform. So this is like learning management system. And students just go into that library, like physical library or physical premises. They sit to the computer and they start learning. And that platform, that software, basically manages all the education processes. They matches with the other peer to do the correction. They assigns the tasks to you. So basically, it's kind of a game. You can imagine like that. And you play that game. You finish the specific levels. Then you basically can graduate the 40 school when you reach a specific level. And one of our co-founder, Tom, he was studying there for like half of a year. And that was inspiration for us. We saw a lot of kind of potential in that model, but there's also saw a lot of drawbacks. Where that could evolve in the future. So we took that as a reference point and upgraded it to the next level with Turing College.
And I did my best to Google out 422 School, and I totally failed. So people in the show notes will figure it out.
Yeah. By the way, can you? Mm-hmm. I'm sorry. Can you tell about how is the learning process working in generally? Is there like kind of lectures? Can you describe a little bit more from inside?
Facilitators, communities. Tell us all the secrets.
Yeah.
there's no secrets, kind of. Only about our software, which as well is one of the main parts of Turing College education. So generally, how it works. Students join Turing College through cohorts. So basically, they apply into Turing College. There's like 3 specific admission stages. So first is like coding technical challenge they need to complete. Afterward, they get possibility to prove themselves into interview. So we are as well having 30 up to 1 hour talk with all the students, asking specific questions about their personalities and motivations. And the last stage is basically when you're admitted to Turing College is basically first 2 weeks of learning. So in those 2 first of learning, we check if the student really can perform in the kind of education we are providing. And basically to understand how Turing College education works, there is a simple concept here. Turing College basically is project-based institution. So in order to complete Turing College, you need to complete about 20 practical projects. And practical project is basically a real life work example from the companies. And so basically real life problem and tasks you need to accomplish. So basically to forecast some specific outcome from the data set. Basically you can get the weather data set of like 10 years. You need to predict potential weather of the next year, like as an example. It's not basically what we have in Turing College, but as an example, it could be this case. And you have 20 something like kind of those projects. Then you finish the project. You need to be corrected by other students and as well the senior staff members that we have. So basically, every project is basically the presentation, how you understood the problem, how you solved it. You need to basically as well defend your kind of project. And if you pass the project and students and the seniors give you a good mark, then you can go to another project. And that's incrementally basically how you go through project to project. And it's basically practice-based learning. So first you get the project, then you get the theory. You get the project, you don't understand how to do that, you go to our resources and start learning through that.
I like it so much that you start with facing a problem and then you have to figure out like how to solve that instead of doing that vice versa. It's so cool. But I mean, can I jump back to the One Combinator story? So cohort-based classes, they just don't scale. They just don't. And if you got to Y Combinator, meaning that you're able to scale. So what did you tell them? How are you scaling your business?
What did you tell them in general? Because, when we are telling about, so it's like community-based classes, blah, 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 people are like, what? What is that? So in general, what did you tell them? So they're like, yes, this is amazing.
Yes, please come to us.
Yeah. I wouldn't say that cohort-based classes couldn't scale. I guess we don't have enough good examples of that being as a scalable model. So that's the thing. But generally, like if you can do cohorts every day, that's scalable. If you can do the cohorts every day of like 100 people, that's like super scalable. So, that's basically depends on the concept you're pursuing. So what we do, we basically are creating the concept where we can have asynchronous cohorts starting. And that could as well help us scale really fast. And as we are online data science school suitable for all levels of expertise, that as well is really beneficial for us, as we don't need to focus on one particular student segment. Basically, people don't have coding experience or data science experience. We can focus on a lot of different people, just basically start cohorts as fast as we want, in a sense, and with that we can create scalable model. While like other schools don't have such an option.
Mm-hmm. I'll pretend that I understood.
Very nice.
Like
very
which part wasn't clear? I would love to kind of explain in a way that would be understandable.
I mean, I'm just thinking, like you told that it's like first it's peer-to-peer and that you sort of, and that there are representatives of the companies who help to facilitate that, but it still sounds very, very chaotic. So I somehow assume that you have lots of community managers, you have lots of facilitators. I mean, herding cats and herding students is pretty much the same thing. So there should be lots of internal processes, lots of guidance, lots of people like getting your students from one place to another, making sure that they do what they have to do in time and then click on all the right buttons. And that's the part that scales very, very poorly. But maybe I just didn't hear you right.
Yeah, that's true. Like community part is really hard to automate, and I would say it's not even possible to automate to the level where you can maintain high satisfaction of the students, because generally learning is really social thing, and especially when we speak about things as data science, which requires a lot of motivation, a lot of support, and as well people switching their careers. So basically what we do, we automate education part, but we are not trying totally to automate community part. So we have as well a lot of mentoring, we have a lot of as well one-on-one sessions with the students, helping them with their learning struggles. So that part, I totally agree, it's really hard to scale. But as well, the question is as well, do we really need to optimize on experience of the students and the communal part of education? So what we saw from our prior experiences doing education coding activities, that's the essence of general learning, the social aspect. So we don't try to automate that to the level that will be just robotic and just Coursera, you provide the content and you go on your own. There is no one to support you. because in that sense, that won't be efficient and sustainable.
I also wanted to double down a bit on your community part and on your sort of media operations part. I'm looking now at your YouTube, and it's 38 subscribers and just a few things in there. But I'm just thinking, if everything is in Discord and you have so many activities going on, why aren't you operating also as a media company? Why don't you publish everything? Like if the value is not in lectures but in the experience that people get during these lectures, why don't you also publish that for free or for a small fee and use all that media that you produce just as a marketing funnel, as a top of the funnel for your school?
Really good question, and we are starting to do that. So as well, one thing is important to mention that we just launched in December. So we are not the company of like 5 years old or like that, has the full team of doing everything and full scale operations. So we are in the stage of scaling now and doing more things. So we will do that more education for free for sure. Providing the value for people who want just understand the field of data science AI. So we will see it more and more coming.
Okay, is it time to talk about money? Is it already that time of conversation? So I saw that you have pretty interesting scheme of how it's working for you. Is it like you're not paying, as far as I understood, that you're not paying, but then you get a job and then you're paying for the courses after you got a job. Am I right?
Yep, that's correct. This is one of tuition options students have.
That's very interesting. Can you explain it a little bit?
Yeah.
And provide a difference to Soviet Belarus, where this is also like quite common.
Yeah, because I have some questions about that, but I first want to hear like in general how it works. So
yeah,
go on. Again, you share the pain from Belarus. Yes, go on, Lukas.
Yeah, so the model isn't new, like income share agreement model, like as a concept economically to basically let students to pay after they graduate and start earning the money. It's already is live in United Kingdom for 20 years. So it's like the initiative that government has, and basically universities can provide in the sense of the loans, which is basically letting students to pay when they're earning money, and they need to pay off in something like 20 years. In our case, as we're focusing on the programming market, we know that demand is such huge for such specialists that everyone who is capable to graduate will basically land a job. So if that premise, we can always as well, to have such a financial model for the students where we align incentives as educational institution together with the student incentives for them to be placed in specific companies. So with that idea, this is why proposing income share agreement, and the students basically don't need to pay nothing if they choose this tuition option before the course starts, and they start paying when they graduate and they land a job in a particular area, and they start earning at least $1,600 about dollars net salary monthly, and they need to pay then 18% from their salary until they pay off $10,800 totally. So it will take about 3.5 years for them to pay off.
That's interesting. But what, for example, if I will not graduate for some reason and I studied for free?
Or what?
No, just I'm just, for example, if I'm very smart, and I'm like, I will not graduate, but I have I learned a lot. I have a lot of experience, and then I'm like, oh yeah, goodbye, thank you very much. So
yeah, we have some securities in our agreement regarding this. Basically, so if student finishes 50% of the curriculum, there is a specific percentage from the full tuition that student need to cover. So we totally understand that sometimes you don't need the full value of our course for you to land a job, because you can do it even earlier. And we have students even now landing jobs before the graduation, and that's totally normal, specifically in the AI and data science world. So we as well align incentives here.
Okay, that's cool.
Want to dig more into the money or want to dig more into the school? I'm just afraid to ask questions here.
No, go on. It's okay. I'm gonna cut you out anyway, so it's okay.
I wanted to say that she's nice to me today, but no, she's not. She's normal. So, how do you recruit students? That's the thing. Education is plenty in this world, and people need to know about you. People need to trust you. This whole offer is not super common, is not super known, that you study for free and then graduate and then share the salary. And overall, there is a lot of you to settle down in people's brain before they choose Turing College. So how do you recruit students?
We're basically targeting those that are looking for something at Turing College, because there are a lot of people that are tired from traditional educational institutions, and they're looking for more adaptable options to study, and as well more personalized. So basically, Turing College is the exact value proposition for them. So this is one. So basically, there are early adopters, and they're looking for that. So basically, we need just to provide information clearly in a way that they would choose us.
So Facebook marketing. You just buy AdWords and ads on Facebook.
That works to some extent, but it's not totally scalable model for sure. So the second stage is basically prove yourself, and this is the stage we are currently at. So what I mean by proving ourselves is basically prove that our students can land a job in data science and AI. And with that track record, you can attract other students that are looking for proof that Turing College, okay, they have such an innovative model and they're doing interesting things, but I need to be sure that they can place students, that hiring partners are hiring students from Turing College. So the next that stage is basically now happening, and with more and more students being placed, and in more bigger companies, we will have more students as well coming into Turing College, because we can prove that we can deliver.
Okay. Again, I will. Or shall I pretend? No, still, let's put it this way. Can you share any numbers in terms of, for example, how many students were you able to accommodate? You say that you started in December. So, yeah. So probably you started from, 10, 20, 30. Now you're saying that you can scale. So how can you tell a bit about that? How do you start and compare May to when you started in December?
Yeah, sure. So we started with 44 students, and some of them kind of churned. And we have about 30 students now studying from the first cohort. Some of them are studying full-time, some of them are studying part-time. And we have 3 students being placed now from the first cohort, and there is no graduates yet. And the first graduates or full-timers will start graduating in late June, the beginning of July. So up till end of that, we are quite sure that half of the part-time students will be placed prior to their graduation, while in traditional coding schools, students are placed after their graduation. So basically, our concept as well starts to proving ourselves that hiring partners start hiring our students before the graduation. So this is one, and we are expecting to have new batch in summer and as well in September coming. So until the end of the year, we have about 100 active students at least, and next year we're planning to scale in 3 times at least as well.
Amazing.
What amazes you? What especially amazes you? Is it the numbers? Is it the model? Yes. Is it what?
Everything. Yes. Should we wrap up everything? Ask last question.
I actually have last question. It's about the community, but you can jump in and
go on. Yes, no? Yes. I took all the time today, so feel free.
I mean, we actually talked about community multiple times today and how it's important and how cohort-based classes with their community is the core. Can you tell a bit more about the bonding mechanics, and if you have this community focus overall, or if you have something in mind that you want to implement, maybe some, I know, Discord bots, maybe it's total manual, or do you have advisors? What's your community vision? There we go. I was able to phrase the question.
Yeah. So regarding Discord bots, yeah, we're doing that, and students are basically doing that because they are collaborating to Turing College as well. But generally, our mission and vision here is to involve students as much as possible, being the part of Turing College as well, because the ownership of the learning is in their own hands, not ours. So basically, we are just leading through the education pathway, but all the execution is basically on their own. With that per se, basically, students as well have daily stand-ups. Basically, have every daily touch point to each other. We have Discord channels where they are spending their days working together in peer-to-peer kind of learning activities. As well, we having talks with them, and we do the retrospectives. We're asking, what things you would like to see in our platform. So basically, we are, integrating a lot of processes as a company together with our students for them to make the learning experience better. And as well, they pushes us to move faster and do things better. So that interaction, not only as in traditional education to teacher student, but basically we are as the creators and they are as the creators together as ideological creators of Turing College, helps them to be really integrated and motivated about the concept generally. I'm not diving here, kind of precise things, the small things that we do daily, but generally just going through the big conceptual things that we are trying to focus on. So we always want to make them, happy in a sense that what are the next features and the support we can provide that they will reach their goals, personal goals faster. So that's all about their own performance and making their dreams come true in the data science and AI world.
So you give them tools and people have to figure out how to become a community themselves using the infrastructure that they have. Well, okay.
Not in a sense.
No?
Okay. We have people that organizes all the education activities. So community team is quite huge in Turing College. So we organize the events and they don't do everything by themselves. We organize one-on-one sessions. They have career track where they basically need to do some specific as well assignments, presentations. Generally, they do the corrections of other students. So basically, they being the teachers at least once per week of other students, which is mandatory for everyone if they want to finish Turing College. So basically, they have those small things that make them, know each other through, daily interaction through learning activities. This is one, but generally as well, as I mentioned, we have organizing a lot of events, activities, one-on-one sessions as a community. And that organic vehicle as well starts the organic vehicle of themselves being active and starting some specific events without our organization because they want as well to contribute to community.
So it all works. Look, people, we are out of time right now. And I have a question, a set of more questions, what is the average age of people? Are you educating people or are you getting youngsters? And I also want to double down on that part that we mentioned but didn't dig into, the free part, letting some of the lecturers for free, maybe letting some of the people for free into the community and then still figuring it out. But we will ask this question, Lukas, in our Discord community right now, off the air. So if you're watching us live, join our Discord. Probably the link is somewhere below. And if you're watching this on the record, well, you're missing out. You should have watched this live. With that, so shall we jump to people or do you want to say goodbye?
Well, first we say goodbye. Goodbye, everybody. So I can cut it out normally. Goodbye.
Yeah. And Lukas, please click on